Hey, it's Tony from Street Church Ministries and The Inside Job, and you're watching The Inside Job podcast. Thanks for hopping on board. We really hope this little hole in the wall podcast, just hope it goes a long way to bless you guys and encourage you and help you to live life in a way that has meaning and purpose and significance. If you ever, if you ever wondered why we called it The Inside Job, I'm going to give you the short, simple answer to that, because we are a simple kind of a ministry, no frills here. We just know that if there's any significant changes in our lives, in how we live our lives, how we act, how we behave, how we treat people, that all of those things first have to originate on the inside, right? Like there needs to be changes in our attitude, how we think, our perspectives, and how we see God, how we see ourselves, how we see life, and how we see other people. So that's what this whole series is about. We're in week 3 of a series. It's called 2020 Vision, and and it's based upon the premise in Matthew chapter 6. It's when Jesus said the eye is the lamp of the body. If the eye is clear, it will give light to the entire body. Meaning that, if we see things as we should, if we see God, if we see ourselves, if we see life, if we see other people as we should, our lives are going to be filled with good things. We're going to be the beneficiaries. Obviously, other people are going to be blessed as, obviously other people are going to be the recipients of that also, but our lives are going to be filled with good things also. And I don't know about you, but I want my life filled with good things, especially now. I'm going to be 57. I don't know how many more holes on the golf course I have. So yeah, I want my life to be filled with good things. So I want to get this right. I think the truth is, and this is a John Maxwell quote, right? So I can't take credit for it. We see things as we are, not as they are. I'll say it again. We see things as we are, not as they are. And that's really true. And that's why we got to be careful, because if we are, if we are cynical people, if we are bitter people, if we are anxious people, if we, are malcontents, then we're going to see life through those lenses, other people through those lenses too. So it's very important that we look through the proper lenses. So that's what week 3 of this series is about. So we're gonna concentrate on a man named Zacchaeus in the Bible. Luke chapter 19. I'll give you the quick 411. He was a chief. He was a tax collector, a chief tax collector. And if you were a tax collector in that day, in first century Israel, you were hated among the Jews. You were the lowest of the low. You were, and please don't send me emails, man, for even saying this word, but you were considered a scumbag. Emails. I see them coming already. But yeah, you were the scum of the earth. You were beneath algae. They were ostracized. They couldn't go to synagogue or temple. They were hated. They were vile people. So this chief tax collector, he finds out that Jesus is going to be coming to town. He climbs up a tree. He just wants to see him and catch a glimpse of him. And Jesus walks by and he stops and he looks up the tree and goes, "Zacchaeus, come down. I have to come to your house today." So he runs down the tree. He's overwhelmed that he's going to come to his house. He's even overwhelmed that he's even talking to him. A good first century rabbi in that day, you're not talking to tax collectors. You're not even looking at them, right? They were beneath you. That wasn't done. Let alone saying, "I got to have a ham sandwich." Well, not ham, but I got to have lunch at your house. So he was so overwhelmed and thrilled, and everyone else is murmuring, grumbling, like, how could he talk to him? What's he, out of his mind? Who does he think he is? What's his problem? And Jesus says something so cool that and that's what we're going to talk about. And this is the kind of vision, this is the kind of way that we need to see people if we want to, if we want our lamps to be clear and our life meant to be full of light. This is the kind of, this is how we need to see people. So Jesus said, he said, today salvation has come to this house because this man too is a son of Abraham. I think people overlook that, right? I think the big thing in this, right? Because after, he says that, Jesus says, for the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost. That's the phrase that everybody talks about. For the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost. But the phrase that gets missed is, for he too is the son of Abraham. And why is that so important? Well, we're going to talk about it. In life, and you don't need me to sit here and explain it to you. Everybody knows this. We separate people into two categories, us's and them's. The us's and the them's. And we do it according to race, according to culture, according to ethnicity, nationality, gender, everything, right? Rich, poor, whatever. We separate people into the us's and the them's. And and that's a very dangerous way to look at people. And I'm not even saying that we do it, we do it, on a conscious level, on a willful level. It's our natural bend. It's the way that we come out of the box, right? I think we do it like subconsciously. And then before you know it, we are separating everybody into two categories. Well, that's not how I am. That's not how I look. That's not how I think. That's not what I do. And then before you know it, we have the us's and the them's. And if you see my Pink Floyd shirt, there's a great song on the Pink Floyd album, The Dark Side of the Moon, called Us and Them. And and what can happen is that this mindset and this mentality, if you're not careful, can drift over into people in the church, right? And we can subtly, unconsciously start to separate those who are on the outside of the walls as the thems, and those who are on the inside as the us's. And listen, I'm in Trent every day. So our ministry, so the core of our ministry is trying to care for and love people who would be considered the thems, of the world. Those who are looking for church like a criminal is looking for a cop, right? Those who are on the outside, who are, in the thralls of addiction, homelessness, chronic poverty, in and out of jail, you name it, right? And if I'm not careful, I know that my heart can become very, very cynical, and I can easily see them as, well, I don't do those things. I don't think that way. I don't live that way. And pretty soon I can separate them into the them category, right? Us and them. And that's dangerous. And what Jesus is doing here, when Jesus said, for he too is a son of Abraham, what he was saying is this. He was doing a couple things there. Number one, he was saying, if he's good enough for me, he should be good enough for you. And he is good enough for me. That's number one. Number two, he was doing this. And this is huge. By him saying, for he too is a son of Abraham, he was restoring him into the community. Remember, Zacchaeus is on the outside of the community. He's hated. He's a vile, he's considered, like underneath algae. And when Jesus said, for he too is the son of Abraham, he was restoring him back into the us's. He was saying, you are one of us. You are one of us. And he was restoring him into community. He was saying, you too have a seat at my table. There's a chair for you. If you're good enough for me, then you should be good enough for everybody. You know, and the truth is, that's how we need to see people, because, you know, out of the gates, out of the womb, we all come out. We are all loved into existence by the same God, no matter who we are or where we come from or what, you know, out of the gate, out of the womb, we are loved into existence by the same God, which in and of itself gives everybody this, you know, intrinsic worth and value, right? And that's how we need to see people, right? So I just want to encourage you, the next time that somebody comes across your life and they're not living like you and they're not thinking like you and they're not acting like you, you know, guard yourself against seeing them as them people, right? Because, you know, if they're good enough for Jesus, and if there's a seat at his table, then he should be good enough, then they should be good enough for us, right? So just fight against that as much as you can, because it's very important. Amen. So listen, you know, I'm creating a 2 or 3 week series. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but I'm really psyched for it. I'm really looking forward to it. So, you know, hop on next week. You're not going to be disappointed. I can guarantee that. You know, you may not like it, but I know that you're going to find it interesting and challenging, and you won't be disappointed. So have a great week.